Hi, Sarah. You're muted, by the way. There you go.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So you have a disagreement with me tonight. Did I read that right?
Um, yeah, I guess so. I was just kind of told to come on and talk to you if that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fire away. What do you got for me?
Um, I think just some of your stuff that I've seen online about women being attracted to men who have money
Hmm.
and that like men like women for sex and women like men for money. And it's kind of stated as a fact.
Well, it's men are success objects to women, and women are beauty objects to men.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just several things you said that you blow up on the internet. I've seen some of your videos. I've
Okay.
watched them in passing and just respectfully, I just wanted to say that I do disagree and
Okay.
um yeah,
You don't see men as success objects.
no.
Okay. How do you view men?
As people,
Okay.
yeah, like
And
I have a younger brother.
mhm.
He's an incredibly talented, very emotionally intelligent guy and
Okay.
he had a choice in college. He went to a really great university. He had a choice, go into computer engineering,
Mhm.
work at Google, make a lot of money, or become a psychotherapist,
Okay.
and he chose the money route.
Okay.
And he's not happy now. He's burnt out. He's working this crazy job. And I'm like, you would make a great therapist. Like, I think you could help people. Like, why
Hmm.
did you go this other route? You're so talented. And I think people have talents and intellects, and it's not just about this very like binary thing you're discussing. You know what I mean?
Well, money is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to success, right?
Right.
Like a a success object to women is what they look at when they put all the pieces of the puzzle together, right? He's competent, he's funny, he can make it rain, meaning he knows how to make money. And whether you can make, $1 million a year, $100,000 a year is still making money. It's just the level of which wealth comes in. Can he fix things? Is he humble? Does he know how to make me laugh? Like the success component is probably the biggest part, especially how old are you, Sarah?
I'm 29.
Okay. Especially as you get older, because women, we're here for a reason, biological reasons. Obviously, men are here to scatter seed, women are here to, make babies. Um, Women, when they're looking at choosing the father of their children or their child, are looking for men that can provide and protect for that child. And the most successful guys generally are the ones that are spoiled for choice when it comes to women. So I know that it doesn't sound romantic or sexy or modern or progressive, but that's why we're all here today, is because our ancestors chose, well, the female ancestors anyway, chose successful men. If they chose losers that didn't have the ability to provide or protect, for the children or for the family, you and I wouldn't be talking today, right? Now, as far as the other side of that equation, where women are beauty objects, um, that's a reality. That's why men talk to women, because they're beautiful, right? They're not talking like I've said this before, and I'm not sure if you heard it on a video anywhere, but it's like there is no guy ever in history that has looked at a woman's degree on a wall, framed in mahogany with little letters after her name, that went, "Oh, just look at that degree, man. That's so hot." Doesn't happen. Otherwise, there would be, like, porn magazines would have degrees in them. But what's in porn magazines? Like, what do men respond to? The feminine figure. They respond to feminine beauty, right? So again, it's not the typical, progressive sort of like comfortable thing that a lot of people like to hear, but it's the truth, right? It's why when, they tell women, hey gal, you're beautiful at any size. I think that's the worst thing that you can tell women. Not only is it unhealthy and you're probably going to end up with diabetes, but you don't look good. Telling somebody that they look good completely out of shape is bad, in my view. You disagree with that?
Um, I mean, I do think that I'm definitely not going to disagree that women are probably their most beautiful when they look a certain way or they
Yeah.
act a certain way.
I mean, if women weren't
Yeah.
weren't weren't beauty objects, then why do they dye their hair? Why do they wear makeup? Why do they put eyelash extensions on? Why do they wear high heels? Why do they wear push-up bras? Right? Because they know
Yeah,
that they're
but I
beauty
think
objects.
men are as well. I mean, I don't know many
Not to the
women.
same degree. Men
I think
don't
it's the
men
same.
don't go on and put on like push-up pectoral pieces or anything like that,
They
but women
do.
do.
They get implants and if you live in LA, San Diego, I mean, implants, fillers, Botox, anti-aging, hair implants,
I know that there's
passion.
some guys out there that follow that new trend, but it's more uncommon than it is common. All women will put on makeup. Almost all women, let's say, almost all women in their youth will put on makeup and nice outfits when they go out, especially if they're going out for the night, with their girlfriends, because they know that they're beauty objects, and for them to compete amongst other women, they have to look good.
I think a lot of women, even if a man had money, would reject him if he were not physically attractive to them.
Women would reject him if yeah, absolutely, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
See, the bar for men is the expectation out of men is a lot higher than it is for the expectation out of women. Men prioritize availability, essentially. It's as simple as that. Is she available? When I text her, does she respond to me? Right? If I ask her on a date, does she show up? Like, men will prioritize availability, but women, it's like, it moves all over the place, right? There's times in their lives where they prioritize success and money. There's times in their lives where that doesn't matter. He's got tattoos and a motorcycle and he's just got thrown out of prison. That guy's good tonight, right? It varies. It varies. But generally speaking, the way that it works is that men are success objects and women are beauty objects.
Yeah, and I appreciate you listening to my disagreements, even though my camera's off. So I hope
No,
I'm
hey,
being
listen,
respectful. Yeah.
I actually prefer having conversations with people that disagree because it leads to other conversations. It leads to other ideas. So let me ask you this question then, because where I would like to take it then is, what is a better solution? So if I'm wrong, what is your solution to it?
Exactly. And I think that was my main issue is sometimes, well, I haven't gone too deeply into your videos, and I
Mhm.
know to get money from views, you have to have a lot of views, and viral videos are polarizing. And part of me wonders, is this a strategy for you to make money? And but yeah, just putting out content that's a little bit more uplifting to both genders, I think, and just
Mhm.
looking for solutions. Like, what are people in committed, happy relationships doing correctly? And how,
Well, I do talk about that too, but
yeah,
most people don't hear those conversations because they don't trend as well.
exact. So I totally get what you're saying because I
But I
think,
have had those conversations. Like I've said many, many times, like the most successful long-term relationships that I know with married couples, these are people that I know intimately well, are couples that run their lives where they have blue jobs and pink jobs, where the man take care of the masculine roles in a household and the women take care of the feminine roles in a household. So they complement each other's lives, right? I've said that many, many times, but that never gets the views. You know what gets the views? Oh, she doesn't care about your struggles. She hangs out at the winner at the finish line and bangs the winner, right? Like that will
yeah.
get the views. But I don't control that. I just say the words and then people watch what they want to watch.
Yeah, even though there's tons of super loyal women out there who hang with guys, like, from the beginning when they're nothing.
Yeah, there's loads of
There's
super
loads
loyal
of
women
them.
out there that will stick through thick and thin. Absolutely true. But there's conditions to that too, right? Like one of the things that I've noticed with that condition is whenever I have that conversation with somebody that's counseling and they're like, but hang on a second, Rich, I've seen women bend over backwards and jump through hoops and flames and all sorts of stuff to do whatever they can to protect and preserve the marriage. Okay, then the next thing that I am curious about then, because I know that women are hypergamous and they always look for better,
So are men.
but men aren't hypergamous,
They are. They want women hotter than them, they want more beautiful than them, they want more
right?
emotionally intelligent, high empathy, nurturing,
But that's not the
kind.
definition of hypergamy. The definition is seeking somebody of greater socioeconomic status than yourself. It's like it just has to do essentially with status, which ties into money and influence and you know being that guy that just sorts of get it. So whenever women say, "Oh, but men are hypergamous too," they're not. Men just prioritize beauty. Men prioritize availability and a woman when they text them or they message them to get together. So we're different. And that's what I try to emphasize whenever I talk to people, whenever they try to challenge me, is like, we are totally different and that's okay. And we can complement each other in a nice way where we can be productive.
Can we use the term dating up? I think both people wanna date up in whatever
Well,
definition that is.
women date up, but men don't usually date up.
They try. I mean,
There's
my
a
ex hit it up. His ex, and she was like a high-powered Ivy League lawyer, and he
yeah.
thought she was brilliant.
This is
So,
this is how men usually date through time. Like if a woman dates a guy with a bus pass and they break up, the next guy has to have a car. And then they break up, the next guy has to have a nicer car. Instead of having a Chevy, he's got to have a Japanese car. And then the next guy's got to have a German car instead of a Japanese car, sort of thing. Right. So women don't usually go back financially. They don't like to lower themselves to a standard that they might have dealt with 5 or 10 years ago if they've achieved a higher quality guy or a more top tier sort of guy. Men, on the other hand, they don't usually go back sexually. this this is actually from stand-up comedy, right? Like it's like, women prioritize different things from men, right? And that's okay. It's totally fine. And I put that out there so guys understand. Be competent. Do something with yourself. It's not enough to come home from a 9 to 5 job after you've punched your clock, make $35,000 a year, sit in your mom's basement, play video games, smoke weed, and then hope a 10 out of 10 is going to come banging down your door to want to go out with you, right? That's why I tell guys to do the damn work. And on the flip side of the coin, I tell women, be feminine, compliment his life. Don't be a boss girl. Don't be difficult. Be more agreeable, be kind, be sweet, right?
yeah.
You can't disagree with that, Sarah. Come on.
No, I think being sweet is great. I get my way a lot when I'm sweet, so
Of course, because you figured it out, right?
figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go out, do you put on makeup?
Sometimes, yeah.
When you go out with your friends to a club or a restaurant or something, do you get dressed up? You do your hair.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I'm talking about, because you know that your value is tied into your beauty.
Yeah, it is a fine line when you're trying to attract a partner. Is like, how sexy do I look? Like, how much effort do I put in? Because I know that's what they want. But then
Right.
it's also like, but then I'm also trying to have values and morals and not be too revealing and not be too,
And
it's
that's
like,
good too.
what do you
Yeah.
want? Sometimes men, it's so confusing. I'm like, what do you want? So you don't want the whore and the slut and someone who's like, promoting themselves. And then
Mhm.
if I dress like a nun, no one looks at me. So I'm like,
Well,
what do you want?
guys have X-ray vision, Sarah. We can figure out what you look like just by looking at you. You don't have to show us all of your skin. You just have to wear clothes that fit you nicely. It's the women that show all the skin that end up in situations that are problematic. It's they get judged. I think that actually, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, but I actually think that women slut shame women more than men slut shame women.
Um, in my friend circles, I have not experienced that.
You don't see women judging other women pretty harshly.
So I can only speak from my experience. I have like a circle of women I'm friends with, and we don't do that to each other. But
Mm,
I'm not like out there. I'm not like out there. I don't have a public internet career.
right.
I'm not a social media person, so I
Okay.
can't really speak for everyone. I can just speak from my own experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Is there
but
anything else that you had a solution to, or anything else you wanted to talk to before I let you go?
I mean, yeah, I think just differentiating, value as a human versus value in a sexual relationship. I think they're just very different and that you can.
Well, yeah, I mean, like again, as difficult as it is to hear that men value women based on their beauty and their purity, men need to also hear that women value men based on their competency and their success. Um, I would imagine that you wouldn't want anything to do with a broke dummy, on a long-term basis, right? Like you wouldn't.
Can I give a dating story about that?
Okay, let's hear it. Sure.
So I was at a bar, nightclub, restaurant in LA with a
Mhm,
friend. This guy at our table next to us, first thing I noticed, he was tall, he was in shape, he was gorgeous,
mhm,
maybe 40 years old, little older
mhm,
than I go for.
mhm,
Super cute. He ordered $10,000 champagne, $1,000 steak, and he invited us over. He had a huge stack of cash, and I was like, "What are you guys doing after this?" He
mhm,
said, "We're going to a strip club."
mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, is this something you do a lot?" And he goes, "Yeah." got my number, texted me the next day. I literally never responded to that because that's disgusting to me.
But you gave him your phone number.
I did, yeah.
Why did you give him your phone number if that's disgusting then?
I thought he was cute. He was really good looking. He had
Right.
like a really cute face and he
Right.
was tall and he was in shape. Yeah, he was my
Right.
type physically. Yeah.
Okay, so physically he was your type. You found him attractive
Yeah.
because he's a success object, right?
Because he
That
was
like
good looking. Yeah.
well, you knew the steak was $1,000, right? Like you knew the bottle of champagne was 10,000, or whatever it happened to be.
Uh-huh.
The stacks of cash is odd to me because most guys that
He's
I know
going to
that
a strip club. Yeah. It was weird.
I mean, like most guys that I know, they don't walk around carrying fat stacks of cash, right?
It was super strange. I asked him what he did for work, and they all apparently the whole group worked together, and
Mm,
they were like covered in tattoos. I was like, "What do you guys do for work?" It was
mm.
very sketchy. So I have no idea.
But it wasn't sketch enough for you to give him your personal phone number, right?
Right.
If
I
you
did
didn't like
really.
him, you would have given him a fake number, or you would have said, "Hey, follow me on Instagram" or something like that. But you gave him your phone number to your cell phone,
Mhm.
right? So you kind of inadvertently proved my point.
Yeah, but I didn't follow up with him. If I
That's
was
fine,
into him, I would've.
but women always reserve the right to change their mind later, right? That's another thing that I tell guys all the time. So even though you get the number, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the date.
Yeah,
Sometimes she
because they're
likes you in that moment, or she thinks you're good in that moment, but has second thoughts about it later, right?
yeah, someone who has class. Like, I don't want some guy going to strip clubs. That's disgusting.
Right, but you still gave him your phone number even though he told you he was going to a strip club. You
Yeah,
see
you're
the irony here, right?
right.
Right? So like this is this is the confusion that a lot of guys have with women is they don't really, behave in a consistent way with what they say. Like I don't like guys that go to strip clubs, but then you go and give them the phone number anyway, right? Like when the behavior trumps the words, then I tell guys believe the behavior, right? Like there was a genuine interest at that time when you gave him the phone number. It's just you rethought that. Maybe you had a couple of drinks that night, maybe you were feeling good, you're with your girls, this might have been interesting. Okay, we'll do the number swap sort of thing. And then, sobriety settled in. You said, I don't want to hang out with this guy because he goes to
Yeah, the
strip
red
clubs.
flag. I was, like, sober, and I was like, "You know what? That's a red flag." So it
Right.
didn't matter if he had money or whatever, like, that
Right.
wasn't what I'm looking for in a relationship, so
Yeah. But you still gave him the phone number.
why is that relevant? I give my phone number out all the time.
Why would you give out something as private as your cell phone number to a guy that you're not genuinely interested in?
I think I was interested, and I
Right.
was
You were interested and you knew he was going to strip club anyway, but you still
right.
gave him the phone number. You see what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right? Like you had a genuine interest in him. It's just it was fleeting in that moment, which is why, you rescinded it.
yeah.
Right. So, look, I know that a lot of the stuff that I say is not always popular with women, but a lot of the stuff that I say is factual, and it, just is what it is. Like I just have a way with picking up on these things, right? Like, gotcha.
I mean, I don't nothing happened. I gave him my phone number, like, we didn't
I'm
go on
not
a
saying anything
date,
happened.
we
I'm not
didn't
saying
kiss,
anything happened,
nothing
but
happened, so
what
I
I'm
don't
saying is
consider that.
if you are a woman that is concerned about your public image, you are concerned about not exposing too much skin, you are concerned with how you hold yourself out to the public, then you should also be more discerning in who you give your phone number to. There's some weird mofos out there, right? And you can do a lot with somebody's phone number, right? There's ways to find out where they live, where they bank, where they work. There's some weirdos out there, right? So I would not recommend giving your phone number to a guy that might be a little shady.
I know, it was that whole thing about women don't care if men are promiscuous or they go to sex
Mhm.
clubs or whatever. Yeah, we do. Like, I don't know a single stable woman who wants a guy who's just super promiscuous and they think strip clubs are fun, and I
Yeah.
don't know
So
anyone.
yeah. So the whole promiscuity conversation, um, you're concerned for different reasons than men are concerned. Like men are more concerned with a woman's past, whereas a woman is more concerned with a man's future. She might have some interest in his past. Like if he's been with 1,000 guys, and she might say, okay, well, maybe he has children out there that I don't know about, or maybe he has a STD, which is problematic, obviously. So they look at it from that perspective, right? But when men look at a woman and they judge her because of her past, and they say that's disgusting because she's shared her body with 50 men, then it's a legitimate concern, right? Um, The issue of paternity is usually what drives the disgust in men, because women have 100% assurance that a child, if they are pregnant, is 100% theirs. But men, on the other hand, they don't have any assurance that the child is theirs unless they know that she's been exclusive to him. So the more men that she's been with, the greater the disgust that he finds in it. Right. So again, like, you can be disgusted with a man's promiscuity, but it's generally for different reasons.
I mean, if I found out a guy slept with a certain number of people, I probably wouldn't want to sleep with him or have any type of relationship with him.
Mhm.
It's pretty disgusting.
Well,
So,
you say that, but what women choose is top shelf men that are successful, and their sexual past isn't as important as their financial future. That's just how women choose men. Whereas men, when they're choosing women, top shelf men anyway, when they're choosing women, they're more concerned with their past, because they know that women don't usually share their pot of gold with men, right? I know it's uncomfortable to hear, Sarah, but
no, but it just
if you
you say the
marinate on it,
exact opposite. You say women aren't sleep around and they're promiscuous and they're gold diggers. Oh, women want status and success, and it's like you say two completely opposite things.
I'm saying the exact same thing right now as I'm talking to you, as I have many times before covering the same topic. It's just people have selective hearing. And if they see this bald guy with a fantastic beard and he says something they don't like, they automatically assume everything else that comes out of his mouth is mischievous and wrong and offside.
It's the beard.
Sarah, if you follow my content and you dive a little bit deeper in the rabbit hole, not just the surface stuff, but if you dive a little
I
bit deeper
really
down the rabbit hole,
don't,
you'll
because I don't think
actually
it serves
find that a
me.
lot of this stuff that I say makes sense and is actually pro relationship and is actually pro men and women.
Okay.
I promise you.
We'll
Take some time
see.
with it. All right. You have yourself a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.